I actually love clam chowder, but sometimes I find it too bland or sort of too finely diced. I like when it's like a stew. It's got filled with clams and vegetables. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start with onions. Got a little bit of butter. So it's 8 tablespoons of butter. I think the base of any good soup is onions, just sauteed really slowly so that they get really caramelized and have lots of flavor. Okay, into the pot, that's about 2 cups of onions. And these are going to saute for about 10 minutes. And in the meantime, I'm going to get to work on the celery, carrots, and potatoes, all medium diced. Perfectly cooked onions, nice and translucent. Okay, I'm gonna put the rest of the vegetables in. I have 2 cups of medium diced celery, 2 cups of medium diced carrots, and 4 cups of potatoes. And I'm just gonna stir them around. I'm gonna saute them for about 10 minutes so they start to cook. It smells great. Okay, now some fresh thyme. About 1½ teaspoons of fresh thyme. You can use dried herbs, but fresh herbs are so much better. And if you have any left over, you can just strip them off the stems and just freeze them and use them another time. Okay. 1 teaspoon of salt. ½ teaspoon of pepper. It's really important to season things as you go along. Just stir it up. I'm gonna let this cook for about 10 minutes until the vegetables start to get tender. Just can't make clam chowder without clams and fresh clam juice. Well, you could probably use bottled clam juice, but it just won't be the same. I'm gonna use a quart of fresh clam juice. Just pour it right into the vegetables. Just gonna bring that to a boil. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is make a roux, which is a little thickener. So it's 8 tablespoons of butter. Just gonna let that melt. ½ cup of flour. And what it's going to do is enrich and thicken the soup. Okay, the butter's melted. Just dump the flour in all at once and then just whisk it. I'm going to cook it for just about 2 or 3 minutes. Soup is actually great to make for parties because you always make it in advance, and the clam chowder actually tastes better after a day or 2. Okay. I'm just going to take about a cup of the hot soup and just put it right into the roux. And then put it all back into the soup. And that just makes sure you don't get any lumps, ever. And then just stir it, and it'll thicken the soup right away. This looks great. Okay, it's time for the clams. So what I'm doing here is I'm just removing the sort of black part of the clam, so I get the good meaty part into the soup. The rest is a little chewier, it's not so flavorful. This is about 1½ pounds of clams. Probably serves about 6 to 8 people. I add the clams at the end because you don't want them to get tough. You don't want them to overcook at all. Okay, now into the pot of clam chowder, and I'm just gonna cook them for about 2 minutes, just enough to heat them up. Just gonna stir them in. Messy job. So I need about 2 cups of milk. Oh, this looks great. Seriously delicious East Hampton clam chowder. Let me just check for seasoning, always a good idea. That's perfect. You can really taste the fresh clams. Makes a difference.